Hello everyone, welcome back to Humble Acres. So today I have my Kubota L4060 LE limited edition here, and it just hit the 50-hour mark. So I need to do all of the break-in period, basically maintenance on it. We have to change the engine oil and filter, the transmission filter, and the hydraulic filter. Which, the funny thing with the hydraulic filter, before I got my tractor, I found a manual online for the L4060 that's not the limited edition. And if you don't know, you can actually find those manuals for free on Kubota's website in Canada. The United States based one doesn't have the manuals on there to download, but the Canada one does. But the difference I noticed after I got my tractor and I was looking through the manual that it came with, so this tractor states that I need to replace the hydraulic fluid filter. On the one from Canada for the L4060, it doesn't say you have to replace that filter at 50 hours. It just says replace it every 400. So I didn't actually buy that filter because I didn't think I was going to need it. And the dealer even said too that they don't usually sell that one because people don't usually do that filter until 400 hours. But then I was looking through my manual and it actually shows it. So they must have changed something maybe, whereas they require it now, or maybe the Canadian models don't require it, but I don't know. So I am going to do that. I actually don't have the filter and the place isn't open today, so it's Saturday and they're only open till 12 o'clock. So I'm going to change the rest of the filters and I'll just have to come back and do that one later. The problem with that one is when you take the filter off, all of the hydraulic fluid just drains out. So there's some tricks that I can do to fix that, or to deal with that, but I always thought it was stupid. Why would the manufacturer make you take off a filter if all the fluid is just going to drain out, but they don't require you to change the fluid? Doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like they could have designed that a little better. But anyway, we're going to do all the filters and fluid on this and we'll call it good. So funny thing, I've never had this tractor in this garage before, because every time I'd back the tractor up and these would stick up above this right here, and I was never able to back it in. But I drove it in and for some reason it just actually skimmed right under here. You can actually see where it touched, but I was able to drive it in just barely. So if you have a 7-foot garage door opening, it will fit, but just barely. And I have kind of a decent sized bump right here too, so that probably doesn't help. So I dropped the bucket down like this, so there's no weight on the actual hydraulics, so it should be able to just sit like this safely now, and I'll be able to work underneath it easier. So the engine filter's right there, and just be easier to get to it instead of having the loader all the way down. So it says this takes 8.7 quarts of engine oil. So hopefully this doesn't splash too much. That's a long bolt. There we go. Actually, it looks really clean still. I might actually wait to do the other side just in case this doesn't actually hold enough fluid. I don't want my pan to overflow, because you have to open both of these. I think we're gonna have plenty of space in there, so crack this one loose. That crush washer wanted to stay on there. I also got the engine warm and stuff so it comes out easier. But that fluid actually is still pretty clear, which is a good sign. I mean, it's only had 50 hours on it, but that's the break-in. Alright, well that's probably enough. I'm not replacing the crush washers because I don't believe in replacing those every single time. I think that's a little bit of overkill. Snug those up a little bit. Like that. And we're good. Alright. So now, engine filter's here. It's nice body color. Or Kubota gray, I guess you could call it. We also have an engine leak over here. I think it's leaking out of here. So right here, there's a leak out of this seal, and it's just getting all this stuff wet. But I talked to the dealer that I bought this from, and they're gonna take the tractor and replace that seal. That seems right. There we go. Came loose, that's good. I've seen some people have a heck of a time getting these off, so. Go in there. Just hits right on that steering shaft and just runs right down the front. Make sure these are the same. Yeah, they look great. Got some oil on there. Spin this on there. I'm gonna call that good. So now we need to fill the engine oil back up. We have to take this cover back off because the fill thing is right behind there, and that is a 12. Which I'm not 100% sure why this cover is even here. It doesn't really seem to do a whole lot. I feel like I'm gonna skin my knuckle right off doing that, but let's try this, see if this works. Yeah, that took it right off. There we go. It is metal though, so that's nice, I guess. But yeah, it's like rubbing a nice little groove into the, I assume this is the fuel filter. Yeah, looks like it. Anyway, alright, so the fill port is right behind here. All these hoses and wires are in the way, so that's good. Alright, so we got a nice long funnel here. Hopefully that'll stay in there. Seems good enough. Now this is, we need 8.2 liters and this is 9.46, so we're not going to use quite all of this, but most of it. Let's just start dumping her in. This might take a while. Should probably check and see where we're at right there. I have no idea how to measure what's left in this though, because they didn't put a sight glass on the side. They put the measurements, but a black bottle that you can't see through, so I don't know what the point in that is. Yeah, we'll call that good there. I guess we'll start it up and go from there. Ran it for a little bit, oil pressure built up. Filter should be full now, so now we'll just wait a little bit for all the oil to go back into the oil pan, and then we'll check the level and see how we are. Alright, let's check the oil level, see where we're at. We're actually just above the max mark, so we'll be fine. Alright, so I have these filters here. Went and picked these up this morning. See the numbers on there if you really need that. This one is the transmission. This one is for the hydraulic fluid. This one comes with the magnet on there already. And this one doesn't have a magnet apparently. This one is a whole lot heavier though, but it's like machined aluminum. It's kind of a crazy filter, but they're very expensive. These two filters were, I believe, like $140 or something. I don't remember exactly, but they're not cheap filters. But anyway, let's get them on there. The big problem is the hydraulic fluid filter that has the magnet on it. If you take that off with the fluid in there, all the fluid will drain out. So there's a little cheat, I guess, that I found online that they're on the fill port back here, right here. You can take this off and put a vacuum on there, and that will keep enough vacuum on the fluid or whatever to keep it from draining out a ton. So I don't know how I'm going to do that because I don't have anyone else here to help me, but we'll see what happens. So the biggest problem is the filters are right here, and you can see these hoses go for, I think these hoses are for the third function, and they go right in the way. So I got the clamps off of right here and right here, and I took the zip ties off, and I actually used one of the zip ties to zip tie it back a little further. So you can see the hoses are quite a bit more out of the way now. The filters are a little bit more clear. They're probably as clear as they're going to be, even if those hoses weren't there. So now hopefully they'll come off easy enough. I'm going to do the front one first, this one here, because this one won't drain all the fluid out. It will just maybe drip a little bit. So I'm going to do that one first, and then I got to figure out how to hook the vacuum up to that port, and then I'll do the second one there. Alright, well, after waiting a week for that other wrench and it not working, I just went to my local hardware store and found this one. So hopefully it works. Sick of waiting to get this off of here, so let's see what happens. Hey, I got it. Apparently, I just needed that wrench. I really didn't want all the oil gain all over the hoses there, but of course they're going to. Coming out, but here. Looks like that's pretty much it. I also filled this filter with some fluid because it can actually hold some while you're putting it on there. And I got the O-ring wet, so let's get this on there. Yeah, that feels about right. Now we get to do the fun one. Alright, so I have my shop vac out here, and I just have this hose looped around right here and stuck in this port, and it just happens to be the right size to just stick right in there. So now turn it on, take the filter off, and hopefully not too much fluid will come out. Alright, let's try this. Alright. It's loose. Now for the mess. You can hear it sucking. There's no fluid at all. Oh, there's some. Get this one in here. Ah! Now obviously I'm not going to be able to fill this one up, but I think it's more important to go quick, because once you let that pressure off the vacuum, it's going to fill the filter up. But that's on. You hear the suction. And we just gotta get it tight. Like that. There's not too much metal on there either. I'm going to start the tractor up, make sure these get full, and then we'll check the level, make sure it's all good. We were actually right at the full mark. So I think it was actually overfilled before. I checked it before and it was above the fill mark. So we're right at the full mark now. So shouldn't even need to add any fluid in there. So I also wanted to look at these filters. So this is the hydraulic one that has the magnet on it. And you can see mine has hardly any metal on it. I've seen way worse than that on some of the ones on the forums and stuff. So, I mean, that's really good. There's definitely a little bit on there, but the manual says there actually will be some on here. So it's nice that there's not a whole lot on there. And then the other one, there's still a lot in there. You could definitely see, this is the transmission one, I think. Yeah, this is the transmission one. It's definitely, the fluid coming out of this one was definitely a little sparkly. But no big chunks or anything like that. I mean, I'm not going to cut it open or anything like that, but yeah, not terrible. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.